everybody, Raul here for Bass Musician Magazine, and today we have the extraordinary honor and pleasure of getting caught up with someone who we haven't talked to for a very long time, Will Turpin. Yay!
I can hear the crowds now.
There we go. Many of you will remember Will from our conversation in 2018. It was kind of coming on the heels of releasing his solo album, Sergetti Drivers. And in the meantime, lots of stuff has happened, so we've got some catching up to do. Also, most likely you've seen Will playing bass for Collective Soul, and you guys are coming up on a 30th anniversary, so some exciting stuff there. But as we always like to kind of jump back, you guys have been really busy over the last, since 2018. Right now you have a new album, or the most recent, Here to Eternity. So talk to us. There's actually 3, Blood, Vibrating, and Here to Eternity, that are in the gap since we've spoken. So you guys have been super busy and producing lots of tasty rock there. Tell us a little bit about all that.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's been, such a great journey for us. We all started together in a small town, and we just love creating music. So 30 years later, after, the first record was released, we still have it in our DNA to want to get out and create. So yeah, so Blood would have came out around 2018, same time that we did our last interview. And then there's been Vibrating, which was only a year ago. Is that right? Time's kind of...
I know.
Getting fading. But yeah, man, we're ready to pump out new stuff. So the end of May is Here to Eternity, which is our latest release. It's a double record. We're super proud of it, man. We still just... Creating is what really gets us going. Performing live is half, but creating in the studio is really something that's just part of us and something we really, really love. So yeah, so for Here to Eternity, we had a friend who knew the owner of the Palm Springs Elvis house. So as soon as we met that person, our light bulb idea was to record in Elvis's Palm Springs house. So it took us a while to get that into the works. But yeah, man, we were there all of January last year for a month in Palm Springs, recording every day at Elvis's house. So that's what Here to Eternity is, kind of referencing that experience. And then funny enough, our Airbnb was actually Burt Lancaster's, one of his Palm Springs homes.
Wow.
And so we're borrowing the Here to Eternity, the famous Burt Lancaster film, and the music that we recorded there at Elvis's house, man. It was a bit of a time capsule, and the DNA was all over the place still. It's just an amazing, amazing moment to record.
Nice. And how would you describe, again, kind of the inspiration? Again, I know the location was all there, but I'm sure you had a lot of that working in your heads before you made it all the way down to the studio.
Yeah, we always have some ideas that we know about that, Ed will show us some original ideas. And so we have some framework sometimes when we get in there, but to be honest, I'd say half the songs we kind of just get in there and take care of while we're in the studio. No pre-production, just get on the same page and start creating and go with that feel and that vibe. Sean Groves was with us as well, again, our longtime co-producer, engineer. He was set up in Lisa Marie's old bedroom. It was just a great moment, man. The house was in a little bit of disarray, but very functional for a band that just wanted to get in there and rock and roll. The pool was still working, and one of the bathrooms was working, so we were good, man. We had a refrigerator. We were fine.
Well, a pool will come in handy always in Palm Springs because it's always a little sunny. So you want to be able to...
January, a little crisp, brisk, little dip in the pool does you right.
There you go. And in the whole songwriting process, again, with 3 albums, everybody pitch in, or how is the creative process? How does it work for Collective Soul?
Yeah, I mean, as far as songwriting, Ed's always going to be the one that's going to bring in the initial idea, and then we turn it into a Collective Soul song. However that may be, it could be in a number of kind of ways with whoever comes up with what ideas. But yeah, man, we get in there and create like a band.
Nice. Of course, we can't help noticing your surroundings. You're in Reel to Reel Studios, which is your studio. And I remember we chatted a little bit about that back when we talked in 2018, but now I actually get to see it, which is great. Tell us a little bit, now that we can see it, about your studio.
Yeah, man, this is the place, Collective Soul. This was our hub. It's where we met without the original studio, I don't know if there is a Collective Soul, but doubtful. Yeah, man, my father opened this studio in '76 in Stockbridge, Georgia. This location I'm at right now was built in 2001, online and functional in 2002. Yeah, man, this whole studio is designed to be a studio, so it's really nice. Would have been my dad's lifetime build as far as that goes. He would have been my age when he was building this 20 years ago. But yeah, man, this is Studio A in here. Control Room A is right over there. It's a gem of a studio, and I've taken over full ownership as of a year or two ago, and updated all the gear. We got a new SSL board, and I've really cleaned up the place and updated everything. There's 2 studios here, and I tell people it's more of a production house. Almost everybody who records here is coming here to work with Real People Music, which is my production company.
Nice.
I set up all my basses around me just because I thought it'd look cool.
Oh, it gets us chomping at the bit seeing all those nice basses. Since we're on the topic of basses, how are you getting your sound nowadays? What gear are you playing on?
Yeah, I mean, stage volume live, it's always been Ampeg, and Music Man has been supplying me with some really cool bongo basses. I don't know if you know these basses or not, but they play so even up the neck. The tonality's amazing. They're road warriors. So I've got a couple custom bongo basses that I play live. I've got one of my older bongo basses in another room, but most of those stay out on the road with all of the road gear. Yeah, man. So, I mean, and in the studio, it's always an array of whatever feels right or whatever sounds right for whatever we're doing. I mean, these are all my greatest hits around me. A couple of Precisions that Fender made for me custom in the late 90s. There's 4 Music Man Stingrays all over there, 5-string, 4-string. My first Music Man Stingray, Eddie Van Halen gave me. That's right over there also. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then, yeah, man, so there's a PRS bass over here that actually Paul Reed Smith gave me. and yeah, that Paul Reed Smith's been on a lot of, it's short scale, 4-string bass. Don't let the short scale fool you, man. It's a beast. It sounds like a monster when you plug it up. Nice. It's on a lot of Collective Soul stuff. Yeah, man. So, yeah, it's been a great thing trying to figure out how to be the bass player in a rock band. Yeah.
Nice. Well, and I can see for the variety, you even have a Hofner there. Do you end up doing that? A little Paul McCartney kind of thing?
Yeah, we did a song on the new record that's very, and there's always been a lot of Wings influence in our stuff, but maybe not so much direct Beatles influence. And there's a song called Sister and Mary that's a really, really good nod of the cap to the Beatles, and I used it. And that's technically not the Hofner. The Hofner, I always tell people, I think Paul McCartney's probably the only person I know that can make them sound good. I picked one up in the 90s, and it's just a very clunky, not smooth bass. Epiphone had an answer for people like me who can't get anything good out of the Hofner. Mm-hmm. And that Epiphone has got flat wound on it, but it's got some more up-to-date electronics and just feels a little more like a real bass, but yet has a very Hofner vibe.
Nice. Well, and my assumption is the violin body shape, and again, there are other people that make them, so it's whatever works. And I at this time of recording, I believe Paul McCartney just got back one of his lost
original. He found a lost original
after over 50 years. Yeah. So. Wow.
Well, I'm on the lookout for this red 5-string jazz bass. I can't remember who borrowed it or who took it, but
oh no!
I just saw the quintessential the documentary on our career, the first cut, and the red bass with the white pickguard was all in the 2000s, late 90s, and I'm like, oh, I'm missing that one. And I would always wonder how people lose these guitars or instruments. Mm. And of course, yeah, I've got one. I don't have any idea where it is right now, but.
Ouch.
Well, I'm holding out hope. I imagine that I let somebody borrow it. I just don't remember who borrowed it.
Yeah, that happens. Well, hopefully they're taking very good care of it and they'll bring it back as intact as possible. Yeah. Now, when you're wearing your hat as a bass player, it's one thing, but your role with your studio, how involved? I know you're obviously involved with Collective Soul work and all that, but you've got obviously to have a lot of other people going through there.
I started out on piano and grew up in the recording studio, so I didn't really come at music or creating music in the band element, I didn't come at it from a I'm on this instrument perspective. I always was coming at music and anything musical from a listen with my ears perspective and what's that and how does that work with that, and I had an understanding of music theory. So a lot of stuff just kind of I was around it my whole life, but a lot of it came easy once I learned piano and started understanding how these relationships work between the instruments. So yeah, when I'm producing, that's one thing I'm really proud of, and I knew I wanted it to be this way. But if you listen to the people we're producing, there's anything from a great rock band out of California, I guess you call them alt rock, Odd Army. I've got a great horn piece, kind of funky, kind of, I mean, really they'd have their own genre, but Red and the Revelers coming out of Mobile, kind of Mississippi area. They've got 3-piece horns and super funky. We've got some country bands on our production label that sound great. Some pop stuff, some female vocals with pop, so pretty much any genre, any style I like to get my hands in there. There might be a few styles I could think of that I would probably hand off to somebody else and send them a reference. But for the most part, man, anything between rock and roll and good old fashioned Americana, maybe even country music, then it's all good here with us, man. We're ready to work with it.
Nice. And if people want to know, because I'm sure they see this and they might even go, wow, I want to go there. Where's the best place for them to look?
Probably socials. The website's going to get updated, but the website is nice also. It's Reel to Reel Studios, REAL to REEL.
Mm-hmm.
In an era when reels of tape were a thing. Now it's gigabytes.
Yeah. It's a throwback. And then you're on Facebook and Instagram and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, if you just search Reel to Reel Studios, you'll find us.
Nice.
All the socials, yeah.
Nice. And as we look ahead, you've obviously got so many balls in the air here with the studio and Collective Soul, but it is the 30th anniversary, so I'm sure it's a celebratory time. What's in the works for the future? What do you guys have planned?
Yeah, the 30th anniversary tour is this year. It's hard to believe.
Wow.
Yeah, 1994, the first record came out on Atlantic Records, and we're actually touring with Hootie and the Blowfish, who was another band from the South who signed to Atlantic Records, and their first release was also 1994. So, wow. And our good buddy Edwin McCain is also on tour with us. So it's a little bit of, what? Can you believe this? Because we've all known each other this long, and to come full circle 30 years later and be able to tour with all these guys that now, we've known each other all 30 years now, and not to mention how long I've known the Rowland brothers, and being gifted this opportunity to play music for a living. It's a lot of pinch myself moments going on, and we just don't take it lightly. We like celebrating with live music with people. Let's come together. Let's think about the memories, and let's think about just having a good time and celebrating.
Well, and it sounds like it's something that certainly the audience is going to be able to enjoy, because there's a lot of energy with this particular, I'm sure even after all the years it's been that way, but even more so when you've got like a special motive, like an anniversary or something like that. Where would be the best place for people to find out where you guys are going to be touring and all that? Yeah,
definitely a Collective Soul website, Collective Soul socials. All those will pop right up, man, if you search it on Google or your Instagram or your Facebooks. And we're a little old school, but I believe we might even have a TikTok. I'm not sure.
Well, with that too, and I'm sure you guys are so focused on the 30th anniversary. Again, you've got all your studio stuff. Even in the farther future, a lot of times, you got one foot in front of the other. Mm-hmm. More plans for more records? Anything else in the works?
Yeah, we're definitely always creating. And like I said, the documentary, the Collective Soul documentary, should be out by the end of the year. If not, it'll be out early next year.
Nice.
So that's right on the heels of the release. Man, we're in that part of our career where we can just release so much, and we're still also actually having fun creating new music as well. So right now, I would just tell you to keep watching, because we're releasing stuff. We're releasing more and more stuff. And again, 30 years later, we do get to come out with some stuff that's already done. Maybe there's a 30-year box set in the future. We'll see what all we can come up with.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, it's a very exciting time, and it's so great to catch up with you and really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. Folks, you've seen him here on Bass Musician Magazine, Will Turpin.